Hi, welcome back to McClutchy Maths. My name is Natalie McClutchy and today I'm continuing our series on trigonometry and Pythagoras' theorem by looking at more applications of trigonometry with the cosine rule. And this is aimed at students in grade 10 and above under the Australian curriculum. You'll find this in a lot of senior mathematics strands as well. Okay, in this video we're going to talk about what the cosine rule is. We're going to look at some quick worked examples, and then for those senior students who like a bit of algebra, we're going to derive the rule and talk about what's coming up next. So firstly, what is the cosine rule? Well, it's a formula, once again, like the sine rule was, for finding sides and angles in a non-right angle triangle. So depending on what information you're given will depend on whether you use the sine rule or whether you use the cosine rule. So this particular rule uses elements of Pythagoras' theorem and trigonometry in the way that it's been developed. And it looks like this: c squared equals a squared plus b squared. You'd recognise that from Pythagoras' theorem, minus 2ab cosine of c. And this can be transposed, if you wish, to get the angle all by itself. So you can use it to find an angle then. Cosine of c equals a squared plus b squared, take away c squared, over 2ab. Now, most formula sheets only give you one of the rules, not the transpose rule. So you may want to memorize the transpose rule if you're not so great at algebra. Now, thinking about what this rule means. A, B and C represent side lengths, again, just like in the sine rule. And once again, it's a non-right angled triangle. Capital A's, B and C represent those angles directly opposite the side that corresponds to it with the same letter. So angle C, you'll notice, is in between sides A and B, and that's going to be important later on when we apply the rule. So once again, it's important to know what's on your formula sheet. If you're in Queensland, New South Wales or Victoria in Australia, you get one here that looks a bit like this. You'll notice that for Queensland and for New South Wales, our cosine rule looks identical. If you're in Victoria, they use different, same letters, A, B and C, they just have them in a different order. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so because when you're adding numbers together, it doesn't matter what order you add them in. So A, B or C doesn't really matter. If you're in Western Australia, lucky ducks, not only do you get the formula in the same sort of form as Victoria did, with the A, the B and the C, but you also get it transposed as well. So you don't have to do any algebra transposing in WA. I am jealous. Okay, so you also get a triangle that shows you where everything corresponds to, so really helpful over there. Okay, let's get on to our first worked example. Find the length of the third side correct to 2 decimal places. Now you'll notice that this situation here, we've got one angle and we've got two sides. Now if we wanted to use the sine rule, we couldn't, because the sine rule, well, we're wanting to find this side here, we'd need information about one of these other angles to apply the sine rule. You'll also notice that this has no right angle triangle. It's not a right angle triangle, so we can't use SOHCAHTOA either. Okay, so typically the cosine rule is used when you've got given two sides and one angle in between them, and that's when you have that clue cosine rule. Okay, so we're going to label our sides firstly, and it's always a good idea, especially if you're in New South Wales or Queensland, that you label your unknown side as C. If you're in Victoria or Western Australia, where A is the subject of your cosine rule, you're going to want to label your unknown side as A. It makes it a lot easier to find what you're looking for. Realistically speaking, the subject of your formula should be the side you're trying to find or the angle you're trying to find that's opposite it. Okay, let's write our formula down, and we're going to substitute into our formula and solve. So we don't know C, that's what we're trying to find. We're going to use a squared plus b squared, take away 2 times a times b times the cosine of c, which is opposite the side we're trying to find. So it's always important that the angle here in this formula is always the side opposite, the angle opposite the side you're finding. Okay, let's simplify that a bit further. Sometimes this simplified step gets a little bit of working marks allocated to it, so it's good to not jump straight to the answer. C squared equals 66. Notice I've got the dot, dot, dot. That means I'm not rounding mid-question. Never, ever, ever round mid-question. Keep the numbers on your calculator, work out the square root, and you'll find that C is equal to 8.14 metres. And as a logical step, it makes sense that it is about similar to these ones here, because there's no really teeny tiny angles that it would make it significantly different. Okay, now we're going to find the angle theta. This is a little bit trickier. I'm going to do it by transposing algebra for our friends in New South Wales and Queensland who don't get a transpose formula, as well as in Victoria. WA people, you could find this a lot quicker than what we could. But let's just once again make that mental note. There's not a right angle triangle. In fact, we're not given information about any of the angles at all. So don't make the assumption that that looks like a right angle triangle and therefore I might use SOHCAHTOA. No, no, no. If it's not drawn on there, you can't make assumptions. And we can't use the sine rule either, because the sine rule, we need at least one angle to be able to apply it. At this time, all the information we've got is just about sides. So we cannot use the sine rule at all. So we're going to have to use the cosine rule. So let's label our triangle first. We're once again making C, which is the subject of our equation, the unknown angle, okay? And writing our formula down as well and substituting into our formula so that we can solve. So I've got 8.2, which is my side opposite the angle C, which is unknown, and then I've got 11 and 8.9. Now, I just need to stress here, it's really important that you label your triangle and that you put the right sides in the right places, otherwise the wrong things will happen. So the subject here must be the length opposite the unknown angle. Must. Okay, and it's really important here that A and B are your sides on either side of your unknown angle, and they go on this side of the equation. Okay, so now we've got some numbers. We're simplifying. Let's take some numbers to the other side and simplify a little bit further. We're going to divide both sides by negative 197.58 and then find the inverse cosine of both sides of the equation, and theta is 47 degrees. Maybe pause here and have a go at doing that one by yourself. Okay, so we could see that the importance of being able to transpose algebra accurately was pretty important here. Okay, now we're going to derive our rule for our extension and senior mathematics students. So we've got this non-right angle triangle ABC again, same one as we had from the sine rule. And we've got that perpendicular line CP that's been dropped down, and that's made another two triangles that are actually right angled inside the big triangle ABC. Okay, so firstly, if you think about the length side C, which is the length where we've got two triangles that we've made out of that length into two perpendicular, from a perpendicular line, sorry. So that one there is made up of two small lengths. I've got this length here that I'm going to call X, and then the difference of this side will be the big length C, take away X. Now, obviously, we don't want X. We didn't see X in our cosine rule at all. We didn't see H in our cosine rule at all, but we need the X, and we need C take away X, and we need H in order to derive our rule. So we're going to hopefully eliminate those two extra letters as we go. So firstly, I'm going to focus on this left-hand side triangle, ACP, and I'm going to use some Pythagoras' theorem. So using Pythagoras' theorem, the hypotenuse, which is B squared, is equal to this perpendicular height squared plus this length here, C minus X squared. I'm going to call that equation 1 because we're going to solve using simultaneous equations. Okay, so that's the first thing. Let's now consider this triangle here, PCB, and we're going to apply Pythagoras' theorem again. So this time, I've got this side squared is going to equal the hypotenuse take away X squared. I've done that in a quick step there by making H squared the subject, and that's going to be equation 2. So now I'm going to substitute that equation I've just created into the first equation, which was B squared equals H squared plus C minus X all squared. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is wherever I see H squared here, I'm going to replace that with A squared take away X squared. So if we put that into the equation now, I've got something that looks a little bit like this. Now, I've still got the problem. I've got X. I need to remove X from the picture. That's what I'm trying to do here, so that I've only got A, B, and C, and then I can work with a cosine rule. Okay, so let's expand the brackets and simplify. And you need to remember your rules for expanding brackets. A lot of people make the mistake of just writing C squared take away X squared. Big no-no, because if you remember, it's C minus X times C minus X, and you have to use FOIL, first outsides, inside last, expand, or your perfect square rules, okay? So this is actually going to expand as C squared as our first term, and then 2 times the first term times the second term, which is negative 2cx, and then the last term squared, which is plus x squared. So this section here has come out of this section here. Now let's simplify a bit further, because I've got a negative x squared there and a positive x squared, so we can get rid of x completely there. We're almost there. We've now got b squared equals a squared plus c squared, take away 2cx. I've still got the problem of x. How do I get rid of x? Well, Let's now think about this in terms of some trigonometry. Someone really smart came up with this. Okay, so let's look at this triangle PCB again. Now, if I think about this, I'm trying to get this angle of B into my equation here to derive this rule. Okay, so if I think about angle B, well, x is its adjacent, a is the hypotenuse. So adjacent hypotenuse, if I use cosine B equals adjacent over hypotenuse, that will give me x over a. Now, if I rearrange this to make x the subject, x is going to be equal to a cos B. Let's substitute that now back into this equation up here where we saw x. Let's put this information. Boom, we've got the cosine rule. B squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ca or ac cosine b. Now obviously we can replace that with the letters, like we can replace b with a c, we could replace a with a b, it doesn't really matter as long as we always remember that the subject of the equation is the side we're trying to find. And we derived the rule. How good are we? Hope you found this really helpful. If you did, please tell someone like your teacher or a friend. Share in the comments your thoughts about the video, like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button so you always know when there's a new video. And if you've got a question of any kind, you can always contact us here at McClatchy Maths. But first we need to talk about what's coming up. We've got more applications of trigonometry. We're going to look at how to use trig to find areas of triangles. We've got some unit circle work and the trigonometric functions coming up for our senior maths students. And here it is. Here's our email address, mcclatchymaths@yahoo.com.au. Send us a line when you've got a question or direct message us on Facebook and Instagram and follow us there as well. And I would like to say thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Natalie McClatchy. You've been watching McClatchy Maths. Have a wonderful day.